Hi folks, John Cordisco back again. Wow, 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 what a game. I'll tell you, I like watching the younger people play. The games are a lot more fun. This is a game from round 3 of the U.S. Junior Girls Championship. Played in St. Louis today. And I'll tell you, you got to see it to believe it, and we're going to see it. Starts out innocently enough, I guess, with English 4 Knights, but as white, Nastasia Mattis. There's an interview later if you go on to St. Louis Chess Club and Scholastic Center's YouTube channel. Towards the end of the video, they have a short interview with her. She's a really good player, and she's a wicked cutie too. And as black, Sophie Morris Suzuki. Now, they're not rated really, really high, way higher than me. Both of them are just short of 2,000, so they're almost experts. That's more than good enough for us. So let's get to it. Mattis is white, Morris is black. Go through the opening here, like I said, the English 4 Knights. Now, you're going to see it starts getting really crazy. G6 takes. Knight comes back. Queen. Okay. So here we are. White's got the bishop pair. Believe it or not, the computer, though, is a small advantage for black, which is my computer's off screen. What to do. And the girl, to her credit, picked the computer move, which is A3. Stopping the knight from coming in. A5. These girls know how to play. That was a computer move as well. Now, I'm looking at white here. I might want to maybe develop my light squared bishop. Get castle real quick. That's the kind of chicken I am. But she went B3 instead, which kind of tells me, you see this sometimes, eventually she wants to move that queen the heck out of dodge. D5. Now she moves the bishop. And then D4. Black's got a lot of space. White's a little cramped. About a half-point advantage for black. Nothing really outrageous here. Kind of waste of tempo, but you need to get that bishop out of there. Hits the queen. Pawn comes up. D3. What a pain in the behind, that pawn. I mean, you have to take it. You can't leave it there. So she takes it. Bishop B6. Bishop comes up. Still isn't castled yet. A4. Then she moves the bishop there. I'll tell you what. White's got... Nastasia has got a lot more guts than I have, leaving that king in the middle of the board like that. Here comes the rook over, hitting the queen. Picks up a tempo. Queen goes to E3. And then knight D4. And you can see it's going to start building up here. Bishop has to take. E takes. Queen. Now, that's a good spot to block that pawn. But you don't want to use your queen as a blockader, believe me. A takes. Queen takes. D3. Bishop takes. Now, white's up 2 pawns. But, big but, it's a 1-point advantage for black. Queen to D4. In a lot of ways, white is paralyzed. I mean, you got a piece hanging. You move the bishop. What do? You hold your nose and you go King E2. And that's the only move to save the piece. And I'll tell you, that's crazy. Rook A4. Rook H to C1. B5. This is tight. There's a steal. After Queen C3, it looks like white's a little better shape. Making the queen move or trade it. The pressure, I think, is kind of off. Queen moves. C takes. Queen checks. King tucks herself away to F1 and get the hell out of Dodge. Allows it to take the H pawn, which is fine. And now, I think that White has a difficult time here. A very difficult time. What would you do as White? Pause the video and take a look. I think I would go F3. But she plays the very human move, Queen takes C7. And just like that, White is losing. Absolutely busted. Should have played F3. Then after Rook, it's scary, but she can survive it. And that saves it for White. But after Queen takes C7, she is just busted. Queen checks, King goes to E2, Bishop checks. Can't go F3 now because Queen takes the G2 pawn. Getting low on time. She's got to play King E3. Queen checks. Got to play F4. And it's just a disaster. Absolute disaster. It's -6 on my computer off screen. Black is just killing it. Rook comes over. We're on move 33 coming up in a really short of time. She does what she can. Protects the bishop. But Queen H4 check. Excuse me, Queen H4, F5. Queen checks. King goes back to F2. Check. King comes back. Rook takes. Rook takes. Queen takes. And it looks like White might have gotten out of it. Might have got out of it. Now, I think all of us, and I include myself, everybody that's watched this video, unless they have a computer on, play pawn to B6. Absolutely no question. But that's a terrible move. Rook F1 is the correct move. And after checks, King goes to H2, G takes, Queen goes to F4, and maybe White can hope to survive. After B6, Queen to D4 check, King H2, Rook E8, Rook C1, G takes F5, and it looks like, miraculously enough, let's go back here. At this point, after King H2, Black is over 3 pawns ahead. That's a full piece. And these games are so subtle. Now, when she went Rook E8, that's a very natural move. But believe it or not, that is not the winning move. And she missed it. Pause the video now and see if you can find a move for Black that basically wins it for her. Rook D6. Cutting off the White Queen. This check is devastating. Now remember, this rook is hanging now. And if she moves the king, it's check. King goes back. It's check again. And then next move, loses the queen. The only way to stop it That's devastating. But after rook e8, rook c1, g takes, pawn comes up. Game is basically drawn at this point. Now we're on move 41, so they reach the time control, which is 110 minutes and 40 moves with 30-minute sudden death, all with a 30-second increment, which means plus 30 seconds for every move. Queen to d2. Trying to move around now. Goes to keeping score. Black's up a piece for a pawn, but he's going to lose that rook. Rook e6. Queens. Now this is what you have to do. Black's got to see if he can find one of two things. A mating net for the white king, or find a repetition. And that's Black's hope here. Believe it or not, after rook h6, the computer shows it as dead drawn. Absolutely dead drawn. King goes to g3. This is scary stuff, but you've got to figure this out as white. Check. King f4, only move. Queen takes check. Look at that white king surrounded by black pieces, but can't mate him. King goes back to g3. Queen e1. King goes to f4. And there's your perpetual. Does it again. King f4. And this is where I think Black miscues. She decides that I'm not going for the draw. I'm going for the win. She has a guaranteed draw with a perpetual. And she goes queen f2 check. And that loses. But then again, white miscues and plays rook f3, which is a very natural move. But that also draws after queen d2. Instead of that, what should she have played? Instead of rook f3. King e5. As scary as that is, now they were really short on time, but king e5 is basically the winning move. Of course you didn't see it, who would? After check, queen e1, king goes back, check, king g3, check, king f2. Still 0-0. And this is where Black stumbles again. Rook takes f3 check, draws. Believe it or not. There is no mating net after that. It's a perpetual with the rook and the bishop, bishop and queen. Check, and all of a sudden, it's over. King e2. Let's go through what happens the rest of the game. Check. Check. King comes up. Queen takes check. King goes up. Check. Check. Or excuse me, blocks the check. And where's the winning move? Queen takes h7 mate. What an amazing game. Black had it. Black not only had a win, but had a draw and decided to go for it and lost. You can't blame her. But that's the way it is. Chess is a very unforgiving game. And so there you have it, folks. What a wild and crazy game. I hope you enjoyed it. Go back and watch the video a little bit slower and pause it to see some of the nuances. It's just, there's too much to cover to make it into a video that's less than 2 hours. So there's another great game from the U.S. Girls Championship 2018. Hope you enjoyed it. And as I always say, if you think chess is just a game, you're not playing it right. Take care, folks. Bye-bye.